there is a reflection. Like people did democratically elect him. I mean, it's actually astounding. I mean, they, you know, I think
was it 85%?
It's over 90%. Like,
is it?
The way that they look at the numbers, I mean, but it's real. Like that's what's amazing. I've seen the data. It's real, and the opposition is strange.
Well,
because that 10% or whatever is like mostly in the United States, or the ones who lost the privilege here to do whatever they wanted whenever they wanted. And that's a hard thing to say about people that have some wealth and power, but most people, even those who want it, admit it behind closed doors and go, yeah, I'm kind of pissed because I can't just drive drunk and do whatever I want to do. It's like, you know, there's elite societies. We have it in our country too, but it's just hidden because we're such a big country. It's like,
when you think about an entire country getting behind a leader, right? You're saying 90% and above. It's like the entire country is on the same frequency. Is beating on the same pulse.
Yeah, that's it.
Which is like the astounding miracle of it all. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's like this shared frequency, and people are trying to break that up. They're trying to, you know, the international media is working to try and break up that narrative, and they're just telling untruths. Like, here's a fact. I hope I don't get in trouble for revealing this. I don't think I will. I don't think it's like unknown, but it's the U.S. State Department has not taken, this is a fact, has not taken El Salvador off the travel ban, not travel ban, but
level C,
travel
orange
warning.
Or whatever.
Yeah. And it doesn't match the statistics at all.
The reality.
And so there have been, and this is the part I'm not sure how much I can talk about, but there have been official complaints like from the government here and there have been other complaints filed by other countries saying, how can the United States government not, like, how can they keep issuing this warning when there's no evidence for it? And the answer is that, and the State Department wrote a letter of rebuttal for this. It was like, basically said, your statistics are a lie.
Wow.
It's like, wait a minute. Like, the country is living proof of the statistics of security. And it's like the crimes that they're saying are happening are not happening here.
Well, it's almost like 1984 George Orwell.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's like there's this like concentrated effort to say that things here aren't the way they are. And then those who aren't here seeing it will believe it. And, you know, and that 10%, they're trying to expand that 10% and cause more doubt and risk. But there's this unified frequency. But I think the architecture behind it, it's a different way of thinking. This president's philosophy is government's role isn't to take care of you. It's not here to give you handouts and, you know, and make your life better. The government's role is to support your work, make you free, give you security, and create the least amount of barriers to you succeeding. That's like just keeping the cabinets open, you know, but that's society. It takes society being willing to do that. It's like, I'm not going to put more rules on you. I'm going to take them off, but I'm going to provide security. And now you got to do the work. It's amazing. I think that's what's happening here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
People are like, I'm free to work. And that's what people tell us when we're traveling. They're just like, I don't have to worry anymore. Nobody's extorting me. I can work. And people know this is a poor country. The people who live here, the poor people who live here, know it's a poor country. They know that there's no big welfare check coming. They don't have that here. They don't have that possibility. They don't even imagine it. So that mindset, that weird,
entitled,
sick, entitlement, it's not here because, you know, it can't be. There's not enough money to do that here.
We have this analogy we've used, the bottom-up renaissance. So thanks to the president, the conditions are there for then the people to actually innovate and create a new society.
Well, and that is partly why we're here, right? It's like, okay, not only has he made El Salvador safe, or Bukele and his administration, I'm sure he's had help from wonderful people who have put this whole plan together and executed.
Yeah, they got a great team.
Yeah. And so now we get to operate here in a safe country. But on top of that, I feel like he's leveled the economic playing field as well.
It's all part of the same plan.
Yeah.
It's all infrastructure, Bitcoin, like finance, the new banking law that's about to be passed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
all, it feels like all foundational.
it's infrastructure.
Yeah. Foundational layers. So builders can come here and work and build and create prosperity, you know? So as a byproduct, he's not trying to use the government, right, in order to create prosperity, because that's basically communism, right? Yeah. But he is providing the platform for, you know,
for you to build prosperity yourself.
Yeah, for you to build prosperity yourself. And that's what's interesting to me. And it also makes me realize how much of a forward thinking leader he is, because, you know, technology is liberating the individual, and it's giving the individual a tremendous amount of power to create, to build, to do things. And like governments are now trying to fight some of that, right? And they're going to spend their money and their resource to stop innovation from happening, where he's saying, in order to maintain control, and he's saying, no, I'm going to let go of control so innovation can come here. And as a byproduct, we're all going to benefit from that. At least that's the interpretation I have.
No, I think you're right. And and people are afraid of it because they question intent. They're like, what's the motivation? And the assumption is, he's not doing this for good. He's got something, there's something in it for him. They just can't believe it, you know, that there would be a true public servant. But his track record, all the way back to this town here where you're on,
he was the mayor, right?
His track record of how this all came about, and it's been consistent from the beginning. So it's like, why are you questioning and thinking that he's going to become a tyrant? And he could. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that somebody likes power and doesn't want to let go of it. I'm not saying that's not a possibility, but the evidence isn't there. The evidence is that this person is removing rules, creating safeguards to guard against corruption. I mean, it's like,
giving people Bitcoin is like, you know how hard it is to confiscate Bitcoin, you know, which is probably the number one MO of any dictator, is steal the wealth in any way you can.
Yeah.
He's able to, and I don't mean this to become a Bukele love fest, right? This podcast, but you know, it's an interesting dynamic, because we're talking about a leader that we haven't seen before. And one of the ways that's on display is just the ideas that he talks about, you know, going to CPAC and talking about, you know, why pay taxes if governments can just print money, and talking about the whole mechanism behind that. You can tell that this guy's a philosopher, right? He thinks deeply about these things, and he's willing to ask the hard questions and, you know, rattle some cages in order to, you know, reveal the truth. And it's the truth that you were just mentioning, right? Like, oh my God, this is all a scam. And then not only reveal it, but say this country is actually going to take a different route by adopting Bitcoin.
He is truly, and again, I'm trying to make it into a love fest of him. I came and took a hard look around the country, and I just keep seeing evidence of it working well.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a philosopher. I mean, there's on the night that he was reelected, February 4th, right? February 4th. There was a press conference, and he was attacked by this British journalist. And sorry, Will, buddy, but that wasn't a question you asked on February 4th. That was an accusation.
Is that someone you know?
Yeah, he's like he gave he's like almost a 2-minute long question, he gave a little speech, and it was a privilege. They allowed Will to speak first, ask the first question, but he threw all this stuff at the president. It was like, are you challenging? Are you rewriting democracy and changing what it means or whatever? And the president gave this brilliant answer, and I remember being stunned at the answer. Like, it was just so informed, like a history professor.
Like profound.
Profound. And my memory of it, that it was power. Like he was attacked with power, and he spoke back with power.
Interesting.
So 6 months later, and I was working on my story, my security story, and I was remembering that press conference, and I sent a message to one of the president's team and said, can you send me video and transcripts from that whole press conference? I want to rewatch that and re-see it, you know? And when I watched it, I was shocked about what I missed. He wasn't speaking from a position of power. He was pleading with the journalists. Like, dictators don't talk the way this man talked. When you watch it and you see his body language, he's scrunching his eyes and he's begging them. He's like, please, please just go see for yourself. And he said, when will journalism regain its self-respect? And just go look, go talk to people. Take those microphones and those cameras and go to the street anywhere you want and see what's real. He was pleading. I was like, this man is, they're missing it. They're missing the unspoken part. All the body language clues and everything or cues are that this man is speaking from a deep place of concern and belief. He wants even the journalists to succeed. He wants them to have dignity. It's like you see it in him. And that plays out in policies. Everywhere that we go around the country, I just keep being shocked. I'm like, nobody told me there was a bridge being built in the middle of nowhere. It's like, you see all their promotion, you know, they have great communications and it's said to be propaganda because it's so well done. But it's like, they're not even beginning to tell you all that they're doing.